What is going on, everyone? We are back on our F1 2016 career. Trey sits in 6th place in the driver's standings. We had a disappointing 12th place finish last week in Russia. We move on round number 5. We are in Spain, and we're starting it off in the rain as we are braving the elements here, going through the practice programs. The tire wear test is up first. We did this last week in the rain as well. It seemed to go pretty well, so we're trying it again. As on this track, I'm actually pretty excited to be here in Spain because very familiar with this track, and I think we can have a shot at having a pretty good finish. There obviously are some difficulties. I would say this track is more difficult than Russia was last week, but we just got a little unlucky last week. I think we definitely could have finished much higher than 12th, but we just caught some bad breaks. But this one here, I think if we can avoid the trouble, we can finish pretty high. As starting it out here, the tire wear test goes perfectly. First time we've had a perfect 50 research points practice program in a while. We're going to follow that up with a good performance as well with the track acclimatization as we are on the intermediates here still. It's still raining a little bit. Looks like it's about to stop. So we should be able to get, actually we probably won't do the qualifying program in this practice session. We'll follow that up in the next one, and hopefully it is cleared out by then. And hopefully we don't have to deal with much rain in qualifying or the race, because it is definitely not fun having to drive in wet conditions. Even on the intermediates, it's hard to control the car. But here we go around and down through the finish line, and it's another perfect 50 out of 50. So Spain treating us very well so far. We're going to have the 10th fastest time in practice number 1. I will take that right in front of our teammate. So it looks like we have him bested there at least a little bit. But now on to practice session number 2. And we are looking to dominate this qualifying pace as lap number 1. And it looks like we are. We're a full second ahead of the, let's see, 15th is the target time that they want us to shoot for. So it looks like we should not have an issue beating that out. Now the question will be, can we finish ahead of their next one, which I'm guessing will probably be maybe 11th or 12th. But we're going to see here as we come around the final turn, and it is going to be, yes, we have that one complete. And what do they want us to get to now? 11th. So that is going to be a tall task. We actually fail on lap number 2. We do beat the original 15th spot, but here on this final lap, final couple turns, we're not going to do it as we are 6/10 of a second behind. We just could not find the time there to get 11th. We are actually going to end up here as we take a look at the practice results. We do have the 11th fastest time, but we're nowhere close in terms of the qualifying pace, so we will settle for 30 resource points after that one. And as we come out of here, we earn our points. We are going to have ourselves a good amount as we're going to be just shy, I believe, of 800. Yes, 797, but that is going to give us enough resource points to put some more upgrades into this car. I'm going to go downforce again. Downforce is something I want to focus on just to kind of help this car out because we do struggle a little bit around the turns. We have some pretty good straight line speed, but we need to get a little bit better in the turns. Looking at the qualifying goals, they want us to be 11th or higher, of course. They want us to beat our rival, Sebastian Vettel. Yeah, right. Still cannot believe they made Sebastian Vettel our rival. That is just, that's harsh. But here we go, on the track, it is clean. We're in the soft set of tires, and we're going to try and lay down a very, very quick time. As I said, this track, I think we can do really, really well, so we're going to test it here as we are sitting in 5th, as Sebastian Vettel is currently on the pole. So I hate you, Vettel. As we come around here, we're still in 5th, as it's Hamilton and Rosberg fighting over that pole position. As we're going to come around here, we're going to be able to hit the DRS as that's a little bit wide, but we're still looking okay. 5th spot. This is going to be a key turn here as we do not take that one well at all. I don't know what we were doing. We're dropping back to 7th now. As long as we can stay in front of 5th, we're back up to 6th, coming back through. Can we pick up any more spots? Nope, we actually drop back down to 7th. As final couple turns here, this chicane here, so key, so easy to screw this up as we bounce a little bit, coming back through. And actually, nope, looks like we were too slow. We're dropping back to 9th to 10th, but can we stay in front of 11th, please? Coming across the line, hit the DRS.
Nice job.
And we hold on to 10th position, so we just beat out the team expectations, and we are just ahead of Felipe Massa. Our teammate finishes 12th behind us. We're just behind Carlos Sainz. So 10th, not crazy good. I was hoping to get inside the top 10, but I think we can make some damage happen here from there as we get an update on our impending loss to Sebastian Vettel. And then the race goals, same pretty much as qualifying. So I think we should have a good shot at beating those. I honestly think we have a good shot at finishing higher than we have since week 1. So we had those 2 7th places in 2 and 3. We finished 12th last week. So I think we have a shot at finishing maybe 6th place. So this is the strategy. We're going with the one stop as always. It always seems to work out best. We're going to go on the softs and then to the hard, or not the hards, excuse me, the mediums to finish this out. So it looks like it's going to be an earlier stop, and then we'll see if we can hang out to the end and hold on to those tires long enough, as this track does eat up the tires a little bit. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that as we get the go here, and it is going to be, this one's going to be difficult here on this first turn. This is a tough first turn, as we're just going to try and stay low and dive in and avoid any hitting. Nope, we're going to get tapped there. But we are going to be through. We did pick up quite a few spots as we are in 6th place here, right behind Daniel Ricciardo, and we're actually right up on him there as we got to lay off the gas a little bit, but we're going to get back into it, and let's see if we can get a pass here. I'm going to immediately move into the Rich Revs as we are going to make it around him. He's going to tap us a little bit there, but we are now up to 5th place here in the very beginnings of this race. We'll see. I don't know if we're going to be able to hold on to this spot, but we're going to try and fight Kimi Räikkönen now in front of us, as he's got Sebastian Vettel in front of him. As we're just going to keep pushing, we're going to fight. Let's see if we can pass Kimi Räikkönen, as I kind of hit the brake a little bit too much there to back the car off, but we're back into it here as we're just going to try and fight. And now coming around on the final turn of this lap, as I expected, those top cars have taken off a little bit. You see the long train behind me, and this is going to be a battle here as Daniel Ricciardo behind us. We're able to keep him in front of us, as we're just going to have to play a little bit of defense here, as this track does have a lot of turns. Is not easy to pass here, except for those straights where the DRS really comes into play, which is really the start-finish straight is the best spot, because that is such a long straight. As you're going to see here, Daniel Ricciardo hitting the DRS and flying by us, so that is what we're going to have to deal with today. Fortunately, he's the only one that's going to be able to get past us. And interesting to note here, he's going to stay low into that turn, which I think might benefit us later on if we have to deal with him again, because we get a great run off of turn 1 when we're able to turn in nicely, not have anybody in front of us. So not really sure what he's doing on that one, but we are now well behind him. Can't really keep up with the Red Bull, but we now have Daniel Kvyat, another Red Bull, flying by us, as, yep, we can't compete with that. Max Verstappen now coming. So I say at the beginning of the race that we would hope to have a really good finish here, but we do have to remember the car we're in, the Haas, just really still can't compete with the Red Bulls. So we got to just keep a level head, be smart while we're out here. We're still in 7th, very, very good spot, but here I'm actually going to take a chance here, diving in on Daniel Kvyat. We get the pass in that hairpin turn, and then we come out of it, and we are going to be clear coming around this long turn as Daniel Ricciardo back in front of us. But actually, in this situation, I'm going to box as on the 5th lap. This is the earliest possible time we have, and looking at the tires, we have destroyed that front left. So I realize at this point, and even the other ones are kind of going, I realize on the soft compounds, we're not going to be able to compete, as we will just continue to lose spots. So I'm just going to give it up there, move to the mediums, which hopefully will hold up a little bit better. And then at least being what is probably the first car into the pits, we'll have an opportunity to race back out there, try and get ourselves caught back up, and then pick up some spots when the other cars come into the pits. I'm not sure if there's going to be any teams on a 2-stop plan. I'm assuming most of them are just going to go with the 1-stops, because I think they're all on softs. So they're probably going to go from the softs to the mediums. But we are going to come out last here as our teammate is in the pit. So here we go. We know that some other cars are probably going to be in the pits as well. As you can see, that big group up in front of us, they are going to stay out, but we are going to be able to climb back up here. Let's grab some spots from 21st. We're going to come through. There's a couple cars already coming out of the pits. We're up to 17th, and Daniel Kvyat is right there, and there we are. We're right back where we have Kvyat and Daniel Ricciardo. I'm going to take this spot away from Daniel Kvyat, and that actually kind of messes him up. Sorry about that, but we don't get any infractions, so we're going to keep racing here. Daniel Ricciardo in front of us as we come around now. Lap number 7. Here are more cars in the pit, so here's our opportunity to pick up some more spots. I would expect us to end up right around where we ended, up in that kind of 8-7 spot, as we have 3 more cars coming out of the pits. We are going to get past one. Carlos Sainz, we're going to try and get past as well, and we will. Now we have Bottas in front of us. Can we get past him? Whoa, coming in hot. He is going way too slow through that corner. We're forced to back off, and that's going to completely take away our momentum, but we're not going to stop. As at this point I said, I expect to have a really good race here, so we are going to race very, very hard, trying to climb as high as we can. I am not going to have another 12th place finish like we had last week, as we have Bottas in front of us, Magnussen, and we should be able to take both of these guys, as I'm going to try and take them both here as through the turn, we're going to hold it inside, and we will get the pass. So Daniel Ricciardo is in front of us again, as we have seen this guy way too much today. But I'm going to try and get the passes. He's got a slower Palmer in front of him, so that is going to help us by slowing up Ricciardo, not letting him get out into that open air. And there's actually Max Verstappen in front of him, so we're going to see what we can do. We can't get the pass there. We got to be smart at least with our aggression. As Ricciardo trying to make the pass. Let's see if we can take advantage of this, as I'm going to try and pass Palmer as well. Nope, they're going to be side by side. How there's not contact there, I don't know. There is contact there as we touch Palmer's back wheel. He's going to touch us back, but we do get the pass, and now we're going after Daniel Ricciardo, diving into this hairpin turn. We're going to have the inside edge. We'll get the pass, and we are into 8th place ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. And now the time comes to play some massive defense, as Max Verstappen in front of him, or excuse me, in front of us. I don't expect to catch him though, so this is kind of the spot where we just got to make sure no one else passes. But here, I don't know what happens on this turn. Cannot make it through the turn, have to back out totally, which lets Daniel Ricciardo back in front of us, so we completely just lose all the momentum that we had gained. But I'm going to get back in DRS. We should be able to get back, not necessarily passing Ricciardo here, actually, or maybe we're flying down this straight. We are going to get the pass. We're going to dive in, stay on the inside, and we are back in front of them. So not all is lost here. We're back in 8th place, and now we have 6 laps remaining where we got to try and hold this guy off through this straight, as he's going to come every time here. He's going to have the run to pass us, but is he going to do it again? Yeah, he's going to stay inside on that turn, which we're able to get a really good run into turn 1. We get back into turn 2, and we are back in front of him. So we're actually going to repeat this a couple times, as we are just trying to stay in front. Once we're in front of him here, after we get through that front straight, we're good for most of the rest of the lap, because there's not a lot of spots that you can pass people on this racetrack. As you can see, once we kind of get through, we have a pretty good separation from them, as we're doing really well getting through the turns. There's no real, even the second DRS zone isn't exactly a prime spot for passing. So you can see the tires, that front left wearing again already on these mediums, so this is not a good sign, as again, next lap, Ricciardo going inside. We're getting the good run off of 1 into 2, and boom, we're gone again. So we're able to stay in front of them, but the tires do worry me. I thought maybe the mediums would wear a little bit less than the softs, but we are running this car so hard that I don't know if we're going to be able to keep up with this pace for these final couple laps. We are on the second to last lap. We are staying into it here. As you can see, we're keeping in front of Daniel Ricciardo. You see the train, though, we have. There's a few cars behind him, which I'm worried here. If anything happens, we might drop back a few spots, not just one, as we come around. Here is this turn, and let's see if we can hold him off one more time. Lap number 17, here he comes. Daniel Ricciardo is coming, and it looks like somebody else is coming as well. As we're into this turn, we are going to have the edge again, as we do every time, getting that nice run. But here, as we come around this turn, the tires are dead, and I can't hold it into this turn. We go wide, and there goes Daniel Ricciardo. There goes Bottas. There goes Carlos Sainz, and even worse, we get knocked by Daniel Kvyat, and we are back in 10th place as we get a warning for the collision. But that one is just the tires. I could not hold that turn, and that is going to completely ruin everything we had going. We are able to get by Daniel Kvyat, as he's just bumping into us, or maybe I'm bumping into him a little bit, as a little bit frustrated at this point. Nico Rosberg is going to be your race winner. We do get past Kvyat, so we are in 9th, but that is as high as we are going to get. We are at least in the points, but it is, again, a little bit of a disappointing finish.
Great drive, great drive. We're really happy with that performance.
And yes, the team is happy with the performance, but I am not. We had a great opportunity to finish higher in the table in this one. But again, as I said before, it is really the limitations of the car we're in. This Haas car just can't compete and stay up with those Red Bulls for as long as we need to. We are able to do it, but those last couple laps, we always kind of just fall off. So we end up 9th. Rosberg, Vettel, Hamilton for 1 through 3, Carlos Sainz, Bottas, and Ricciardo got in front of us. So we could have had 6 there. We are still, though, at least going to remain 6th in the standings. Max Verstappen behind us. He's only 3 behind, so he's coming for us quickly. But that is where it ends. We're still 4th in the team standings, constructor standings. Williams coming up, though, as they pass Toro Rosso. As now a rivalry update, as is this thing over yet? Sebastian Vettel had to have beaten us in everything. Yes, he did, because we had a penalty, or no, we had a penalty free, but he got the podium as well. So that is it for Spain. It has been a couple disappointing finishes in a row, and it doesn't get any easier because next time we are headed to Monaco. Monaco, a very, very tough race. It is. I do like the track, but it is a difficult track. So we are going to have to focus really, really hard on practice because qualifying is so important at Monaco. So we're going to have to try and qualify as high as we can because at that point, you're not really passing people there. So we'll see what happens. But that is it for this video. I will see you next time.